What's up folks, it's 2Bricks, and fresh off of a bunch of seasonal reviews, seasonal releases from LEGO, I have been craving making something new and original, and before I decided to get back to any of my larger projects that I've been working on, I wanted to just take a little bit of time and make something that is completely new. That's something I don't do very often. I usually do stuff that's based on existing source material. So this is kind of a halfway step towards that, because this is based on an actual LEGO set that is sort of a non-canon thing. That is the Imperial Dropship that came with the classic, super highly rated original battle pack with stormtroopers that LEGO itself actually remade into a slightly slicker, slightly fancier battle pack for the 20th anniversary of LEGO Star Wars. So here we are at the 25th anniversary. I wanted to have a stab at my own interpretation of this ship. I took inspiration from a bunch of different Star Wars vehicles to try to make this sort of official, like if we put on our in-universe live-action goggles, what a ship of this size and type and function might be like, and then make it into a LEGO set. So that was my goal here. I had a lot of fun, and I'm really, really excited to share it with you guys. Check out the link down in the description to see where you can get the instructions to build one of these for yourself if you are interested. And if you're just here to check it out because you're nostalgic about the original set, then let's dive in and take a look at all the things that this can do and the inspiration behind this build. All right, so I'll just give you a look at some of the aesthetics first of all and sort of talk about my decision-making process. I always liked these little stubby tie-looking wings back here. They were black on the original, and then they substituted those for blue on the newer set. And I always preferred the black, and I wanted to do some sort of scaled-down tie wings for my dropship because I just thought that that would look really cool. I also wanted to overall maintain the general proportions, right? So it flares out at the bottom here. It's got the two cannons. The windshield piece is actually the same that was used for the later set. And then obviously I'm sort of extending this idea back of the windshield into the sort of swooping nose of the thing back into the brow here. And I was really, really happy with how all of that shaping turned out. It was sort of like a stubby, tiny, scaled-down version of an LAAT gunship, and that's definitely what I was going for. It also takes a lot of inspiration from the Coruscant police gunship. I feel like I finally understand how that is an iteration of the LAAT proper, now that I've kind of come to this on my own, in my own way. And then I added a couple of extra little things in here. So we have like the slightly more bulky top section here, and we have the little kind of air intakes, or whatever you want to see those as, that feed into these engines back here. But overall, I wanted to keep it the same idea. We have a little pallet here that can be dropped off containing troops and weapons. I'll show you that in a minute and the functionality behind it. These guns are sort of reminiscent of like an AT-ST. I used some of the same sort of familiar shape language in there to evoke that, and then also the sort of the angry, droopy jowls of this also kind of give me AT-ST vibes as well. So definitely was pulling from a lot of different pre-existing source material here. And then in the top here, you can just see the sort of greeble trench that runs down the middle. And then this is the activator here to release your pallet. So again, I'll show you that in a second. There's lots of greebly details under here with handrail / pipe type details. We have a little bit of sort of tubes in here that feed into the two engines, and then some grill to show some sort of venting kind of thing like that. And then also we have our pilot situated in here as well. So like in the original, you have a black version of a stormtrooper that is piloting this, and I wanted to make the cockpit look suitably menacing for him there. And he's also got his little control yoke down here at the front that just opens up kind of with the windshield there. So yeah, lots of cool stuff in here to kind of think about different inspiration for Star Wars things. There's actually another fun little sort of, I guess, Easter egg. So down in here, I don't know, it's kind of hard to see. I might try to brighten this footage artificially to show you guys, but back in here, there's a droid brain, which is one of the things that came in, I forget which TIE it was, but there's a TIE fighter or a TIE specialist craft that had this droid brain in it that I guess we're supposed to think is responsible for like navigation or weapon systems or something to that effect. So I thought it'd be really cool to integrate that in here, so you could have the craft be piloted remotely by the droid brain, and the actual stormtrooper out in the front can just concentrate on a gunnery position if he wants to, or vice versa. So I just thought that was like a little bit of fun inbuilt lore with just a few extra pieces, so why not? So yeah, let's take a look at the action feature for this. So essentially, you're just going to grab this whole kind of back section here. The engines aren't the most sturdy, like they're attached in with Technic pins so they won't fall out, but grabbing the thing by the engines doesn't feel good. So just put a finger on the top here and grab it right in front of this sort of fin thing that flares out of the back here. And then this is the little activator switch here. So in order to drop the pallet, you're just going to pull this back like so. So you can very smoothly, and you can just pull that back and kind of drop down on top of the pallet, release, and then off you go. So the idea behind that is I'm just using a rubber band that is integrated into here, and that just pulls the thing back to its starting position, so that holds the pallet in place when it's when you're not releasing it. So that way, when it's actually in here like this, it won't just accidentally release on you. So that's cool. The original achieved this by having this entire back section tip forward to kind of act as release, and then you would push the set away from the pallet. But I wanted a more traditional drop feature like that because I think that feels satisfying, right? So let's take a look at the pallet itself. So this cannot stand on its own without, it's designed to go with this, kind of like the AT-OT dropship, similar functionality there. This pallet here can hold onto 4 troopers, and then they have a sort of a roller coaster style bar that is keeping them secure while they're going into the landing zone. Obviously this Technic pin is what gets grabbed onto by the little grabber mechanism back there. They have 4 seats here for troopers, so I'll just take some of these guys off. So they're only attached with 2 studs, but then the seats themselves are only attached with 2 studs to the base, so it's 50-50 on whether your seat will come up with the trooper, but that's kind of always been a thing for LEGO. So in the front here we have a crate that is loaded up, and that has a couple of weapons in it. So I'll just show you that really quick. So we have a couple of thermal detonators in here ready to blow some people up and do some damage. And then the intention behind, well, let's leave this off. The intention behind this section is that once the pallet has been dropped off on location, you can activate at this control console here this little sort of, either a GPS beacon or a satellite communication of some sort to basically signal for when you're ready to be picked up, and then the ship can come back, grab the pallet, and be on its way. So I wanted to have a little bit of inbuilt storytelling for this section as well. We also have this removable weapons rack right here, but I don't think you really need to remove it. You can just grab your weapons right off of the pallet here. So your troopers get dropped off, hop out of their seats, grab their weapons, and they're good to go. Obviously, a more traditional dropship scenario would be like the LAAT, where it's simply just a platform and the troops can just dismount on foot. But I wanted to pay homage to the original set and the way that it was set up, and that was very similar to this. So that's what I ended up doing. So there we go. We can just secure our troops back in place, signal for a pickup, come in here, drop this over the top, and you're good to go. As far as articulation, I wasn't really intending for these wings to be movable. You can set the angle to more straight if you prefer that look. That's actually very similar to the original, and a slight angle to it makes it more similar to the update, where there's a little bit more style back here. This flared up section here also isn't really intended to go anywhere. It's just meant to be the termination of this dark blue striping section in here. This is actually from the original set, this Imperial logo, so I just stuck that on the side there, where on an LAAT you would see the Republic logo. I just thought that was cool. So the kind of, I guess the lore that I'm imagining for this whole thing is that this is sort of a runabout for Imperial bases to have, where they don't have a ton of space or resources. They have these little runabouts that can carry a small squad of just 4 troopers into a battle zone, drop them off, and return to base for sort of remote operations where larger ships and resources are not called for or not available. And then you could swap out the different configurations in here. So you could have some light cargo, you could have a little sort of closed-in officers transportation pod. These are all things that I'm just envisioning that you could add to this. So it makes it kind of a nice little multifunctional dropship for your standard Imperial base out in the Outer Rim somewhere. And that is what I'm thinking this is kind of designed for, because otherwise why would you not use one of the larger, more standardized, bulky transports that the Empire has access to? So there you go. That's kind of the whole deal right there. And if you guys, like I said, if you want to build one of these for yourself, you can get the instructions and the parts list on my Rebrickable page. Just follow the links in the description down below. And tell me what you think of this in the comments. I'm really curious to know what you think of my take on a non-canon Lego thing in an attempt to make it feel a bit more canon than it was before. Does this feel like something that's, Star Wars-y enough? Does it fit in the general kind of aesthetic for you? And let me know what you think. I'm just really curious to know down in the comments below. So thanks for watching, you guys. I'm going to get to work on the next video because I have so many more things to bring you. This was definitely a nice little sort of break in between getting back to serious, big-time mock making and coming out of my block of reviews that I just did. I really loved designing that the A-wing that I just did recently, and I was really wanting to do another small thing before I move on. So I was glad I was able to squeeze this out, and hopefully you guys get a kick out of it. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna get to work on the next video, and may the Force be with you.